Hello and welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be talking about what the future of Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park could possibly entail. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Nemesis Inferno is a B&M inverted roller coaster that first opened in 2003 at Thorpe Park in Surrey, England. It is the second inverted coaster built by B&M in the UK, and it is the third most recent B&M roller coaster to be built in the UK, with the two after that being the Swarm, which is also at Thorpe Park, and Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington and World of Adventures. And obviously, if you've heard the name Nemesis Inferno, you'll probably guess, oh, it's got to do with Nemesis at Alton Towers. And when it was originally opened, it was in fact meant to be sort of like the sequel sort of attraction to Nemesis at Alton Towers. Because apart the story of the ride is basically caused by like a lot of volcano eruptions which are caused by the Nemesis monster. Now, if you visit Thorpe Park nowadays and you see this ride without knowing what it's called, you'll think, oh, it's like sort of like a jungle theme, like sort of like a volcanic eruption sort of theme. Then you see the entrance sign that says Nemesis Inferno, and you'll think, well, what does this actually have to do with Nemesis? Now, I do believe that they named it Nemesis Inferno originally back in 2003 to get, basically for marketing reasons, and to get a lot more people to visit Thorpe Park, because Nemesis had already become an iconic attraction by that point, and if they put the name Nemesis on their new attraction, then they could probably get a lot more visitors coming into the park, because obviously Nemesis Alton Towers is a very recognisable attraction, and if they had what they advertised sort of like a sequel to Nemesis, that would draw a lot of customers in. So that's probably the main reason behind the actual naming process behind why it's called Nemesis Inferno and not just something like Inferno or something. But then obviously, if we skip forward sort of like 20 odd years, and Nemesis, the original Nemesis Alton Towers, has been completely redone into Nemesis Reborn, and it's got a whole new storyline. But there's sort of like part like alien horror like story combined with like a sort of military operation plot. It's actually really cool. And then you look at Nemesis Inferno, which has had pretty much not really many changes to its theming or storyline since it opened in 2003, and you would not think, apart from the name, that they were in any way connected. So that's why I'm thinking, what could the future hold for this attraction? Now, obviously there are a couple of possibilities for what they could do with it within the next few years. There's a big rumour that they could actually do a Sparkle project thing for Nemesis Inferno. You know, because as we've seen with Colossus during this closed season, where they've retracked it, they've updated all the theming, they've painted it, they've added new theming, they've basically just tidied the whole area up and looked much nicer. They made Colossus look like how it did back in 2002 when it first opened. Obviously, plus the retrack stuff is mainly there to help make the ride a smoother experience, because obviously Colossus is notorious for being quite rough, especially on the back row. Now, I don't see them retracking Nemesis Inferno, because it's a B&M coaster and it's not that rough. In fact, it's not even rough at all, honestly. It's actually quite smooth. What I do see them doing is updating a lot of the theming, because so far in that area, apart from the station building, which is a volcano, meant to look like a volcano structure, and around that area you've got like mist machines, which are sometimes on and sometimes not. Mainly just a lot of like trees and plants and some water and a random crocodile that you fly over just before the first helix, which I find strange. So maybe this close season or at some point in the near future, they could do like a Sparkle project thing for Nemesis Inferno, where they give the ride a paint to look like how it did when it first opened in 2003. Because I'm honestly telling you, when it opened in 2003, it looked a lot fresher, which most rides do when they first open. And obviously they could update some new theming, maybe add some new theming, and obviously to make the ride look newer and more presentable. Now, the second option I could see them doing, I'm not sure if they will actually do this, is they will probably drop the Nemesis name from the ride and make it just its own attraction. Now, whether they'll do this, whether they'll actually see the point in doing this, I'm not sure. Whether they'll just name it I don't see them just naming it just Inferno. They could probably give it a slightly more creative name than just Inferno. But I do think, considering that like I mentioned earlier, Nemesis Reborn got done up earlier this year with all its new theming and special effects and the new storyline, and then we've got Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park, which has pretty much nothing to do with that. And I don't see them going to like the lengths of like what Towers did with Nemesis Reborn, where they added like the new sort of phalanx sort of theming and storyline to it, considering that Nemesis Inferno is in an area called the Jungle, and if you add that sort of like phalanx sort of military operation with like a Lynx helicopter and new like military facility stuff, that wouldn't really make much sense in the area that it's in. Plus, Nemesis Inferno has never been as popular as the original Nemesis. It's always been a great raging debate that's been going on for the past 20 odd years, which is better, Nemesis or Nemesis Inferno. I personally think it's Nemesis, or Nemesis Reborn as we should call it now, but I don't see them going to that length purely because it's not got the same sort of popularity level as Nemesis. So maybe they'll just sort of drop the Nemesis name from the attraction. They might still keep it like jungle themed, or they might integrate it into one of the other areas. Like, I don't see them integrating it into Big Easy Boulevard because, I don't know, that area just seems, that's probably more of like a family friendly area apart from Detonator. So adding a thrill ride into that area other than Detonator don't really make much sense. They could probably add it into the Dockyard area that has the Walking Dead, the ride and Ghost Train, or they could just still keep it look jungle themed and just change some of the theming and the storyline and whatnot, but just drop the Nemesis name and rename it something else. So that is what I think could possibly happen to Nemesis Inferno in its near future. But what do you think could happen to the ride? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment if you would like to see the next video. Goodbye.